Been a hectic couple of months for you, innit? Because as we can see, you've been working behind the scenes, pulling all this together, as well as dealing with your own physical injury and ailments and stuff like that. Talk to me about how difficult it was to kind of pull this stable together.
It wasn't. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was difficult. It was fun. It was fun. I'm used to having a lot of things going on at the same time. Fortunately, the rehabilitation that I needed to do only took probably 2 or 3 hours a day. So I got the rest of the day to obviously work with the promotional side of things. There's been a lot of work to get everybody together, to get make sure that we got the fighters that we wanted, and I believe all of the fighters have the capabilities to become world champions at some stage, some sooner than others. But I definitely believe we got the right crop of fighters. It's a small team. It's a small little crew. They're all based in the Hayemaker gym with Ismail Salas. My new coach, Jorge Linares, is his coach, so he's had time to work with the fighters, and he believes, as I do, that these guys are the future. You saw amateur footage of these guys, and he was obviously instrumental in also sort of earmarking who we believed could go on to professional honours. As he was the head coach of the Guantanamo district in Cuba, where Felix Savon famously came from. He's 3-time Olympic champion, and worked with trained Gamboa, Regondo, some of the biggest and greatest, most skilled Cuban fighters. This guy was behind, and I believe he's the right guy to have in the team to get the very best out of our amazing prospects.
The last time we spoke about this whole thing, Hayemaker Ringstar, you was about to announce the broadcaster. I assume that took a little bit longer, going through all the offers and all that. How happy are you to land at Dave with a five fight 3-year deal?
Yeah. It's great. I'm over the moon. I had my first 2 comeback fights on Dave, and they were huge successes. We had over 3 million people tuned in to the fight, and we only announced the fight a week prior to the fight. So now look for, if we had a 2-month leading to that fight, the numbers would have been astronomical. So I'm very happy. Dave and UK TV have come to the table. They've shown their willingness to get involved in sport. They've signed a big deal with BAMA, one of the leading mixed martial arts promotions. And obviously they've done it with ourselves, so they're putting the money where the mouth is, and they really want to, assist the general fans, maybe not even the sporting fans, but just the masses to follow our young runners. Exactly, they got an amazing stat. Is it 45 million people per month watch one of their channels? So that's an impressive stats. We've got 60 million people in the country, so it really is nice to have someone like that on board, and they're looking at really assisting with the promotion, and they want to get into boxing because they've seen the fruits of what boxing can bring, and boxing's at an all-time high. You had on Channel 5 last week we had Josh Taylor and O'Hara Davis in an amazing fight, free to air. Anybody who would have tuned into that fight are now a boxing fan. They're going to be following Josh's career moving forward, and hopefully we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be giving guys good, entertaining fights, exciting fights with personalities that can go the whole way.
You talk about personalities, none bigger than MVP in the world of mixed martial arts, especially coming from the UK. Shrewd move. Are we going to see more of that? I know Jimi Manuwa was calling you out a little while ago. There's MMA boxing thing seems to be, there's a greater synergy there.
There really is, and obviously the bit that it doesn't get any bigger than Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, which is happening, I think, August 26th. I've got my flights booked. I'm looking forward to it. They said Manuwa has been making some noise, and I've been talking to Dana White about that potential matchup, and the crossover between boxing and MMA is looking very healthy, and the fact that Bellator are confident enough in Michael Page that they say, okay, we can sign a boxing contract, to come and fight in a boxing match, shows that the two sports are coming together, and an athlete is not a fighter is a fighter. And I've seen Michael Page up close and personal in behind closed doors, and he is the real deal.
Got skills.
He's got mad skills. He does stuff that I've never seen boxers do with boxers. Honestly, you have to wait and see for yourself. But I definitely believe he's one of those sort of strange characters who can just, whatever he puts his mind to, he'll be successful. Not only is he successful, he makes it look good as well. He's just got the right ingredients to become the future of sort of boxing and MMA as well. Because he's not just going to get into boxing and forget about his MMA. He's going to do both of them. I'm like, it's crazy. I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Good
before.
look, though.
It's a good look. He's a good look, and he's got a huge fan base. He pretty much filled out the O2 Arena when he fought Cyborg. I was there ringside, watched him. He told me before he was going to knee him, knock him out of a knee to the head. I was like, oh, okay. He goes and does it, and not only does it, he literally crushes Cyborg's skull. So it was like a very sickening thing to watch.
Bit serious.
A bit serious, and he did it. And he did what he said he was going to do. And people who fulfil on their predictions, have my respect. And I'm really looking forward to the future. The future really looks bright. And obviously Willie Hutchinson, 18 years old, young kid out of Scotland, one of the most decorated amateurs ever out of Scotland. And Kez Ashfaq, he's from Bradford, great personality, great looking kid, and can really fight, can really adapt his amateur style into the professional game to give fans good value for money.
Tony Belly's already taken a pop at you at the whole deal on Twitter. I suppose it's a bit expected, right? What did you make of some of his comments the other day on another channel's interview with him, where he was reiterating what you said in the post-fight? You guys were in the ring, and you kind of made a comment about, if he would oblige you to fight him again, blah, blah, blah. He reiterated it about 20, 30 times.
The thing that I've made sure I've done throughout my career is, any negotiations regarding fights. For instance, our first fight with me and Bellew, no one knew the fight was going to happen until it was signed. So I've always maintained that any negotiations done behind closed doors, and I'm not really interested in, airing in public. I don't see the benefit. Whenever I've done it in the past, things have never really happened. So if there are talks going on, they're going on, and people only know about it if and when it gets signed. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm talking to a few other different alternative options. Because
you mentioned also December. So.
Yeah, I'm fighting in December. Who it's going against is unknown right now, but I know when I'm fighting. If the rematch does happen, great. If it doesn't, I'll survive. I've watched that fight back, and I know what happened. He knows what happened. Every single person watching knows what happened. And if a rematch happens, great. If it doesn't, I'll survive. I don't believe it's going to stop me achieving my goals of agreeing the heavyweight championship of the world. If I get back in there and knock a couple of people out in the top 10 in spectacular fashion, then I'm right back in exactly the position I was in before that fight.
Lastly, your injury, you seem to may have made a miraculous recovery, because we do a lot of track and field, me and my cameraman, so Achilles go, and we know that's a problem area. Yeah. Just the healing and the blood flow and all of the stuff that goes with that, it's a very, very serious injury. I'll be honest with you, when I saw you do it, the way I saw it, I thought it might be over. But to see you standing here now is a credit to your own mental fortitude and your physical sense of being able to repair yourself. Talk to me about that. Are you ahead of schedule, or?
I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm ahead of schedule. I'm exactly where my physiotherapist said I would be. I'm now incorporating. I'm running, doing stair sessions now. Doing single leg calf raise, holding weights now. So I'm moving forward. I'm doing all my plyometric stuff, and there's zero pain. In my zero pain, I get no paining there. So I'm really fortunate I've got such a good medical team and nutritional team as well. Aidan Goggins, my nutritionist, made sure that, for instance, I'm constantly eating drinking all this healthy stuff. But all of this is not just for the horrible taste of it. It's because it's the nutrients that I need to allow my body to make the best possible recovery in as fast time as possible. And discipline, focus, rehabilitation.
Stints in the sun.
Yeah, stints in the sun. I'll go and stay in a yoga retreat. I went to a yoga retreat in Ibiza for a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, but what I was doing is just getting some sun, eating healthy, doing my rehabilitation. That was it. It's what I needed at that time. Just to relax, just to chill. Because I know there's going to be a manic few months ahead with training, so I needed to get away and chill and do my rehabilitation. And I come back feeling fresher than ever.
Dave, you're going to be world champion?
I will be world champion. I will. But a lot of people didn't believe me when I said I was going to do it after I was the cruiserweight champion. I did it. A lot of people said I wouldn't be able to get back in the ring after certain injuries that I've had, and I've done it. So I like to prove people wrong. So people out there keep doubting me, but believe me, I will have a number of world title belts around my waist before it's time for me to hang up the gloves.
Good luck, bro. Appreciate it.